I think I'm live. Alright, you'll have to pardon me. I'm a little bit phlegmy tonight, so you may hear some unflattering sounds. Anyways. Alright, let me get a few things configured on the other window here. There we go. Alright, so I can't see the live window, but I can see OBS. So I'm going to assume that everything is as we see it there. So, alright. Another night of mixing. I had a couple minutes, so I figured, you know, what the hey? Go ahead. Give the people what they want. So anyways. So here we go. When we left off, and by the way, if you're not wearing headphones and you want to really hear some of the differences or the changes that I'm doing, try putting on headphones. You can probably hear a little bit better that way. So let's see. Check my sound levels out. All right, it looks okay. So let's keep going. So we got the drums and the guitar, or a bass guitar, where we left the bass guitar off. We got our little loop here. All right, so that don't sound half bad. Although, you know, any of this is up for a little revamping, a little re-EQing, if you will, a little bit later. So where we got to were the guitars. So let's mute the drums. And for right now, we'll go ahead and mute the bass. Getting clocking clicks. Everything looks okay here, though. All right. How about you, Mr. Hardware? Yeah, you look okay, too. All right, moving on. So when we took a listen to this the other day, when we left off here, all that. Let's take a listen to just the guitars. And I think we discovered that we have 4 different mics of the same guitar. However, 2 guitar cabs, 2 mics each. And if I remember right, one was a 609, one was a Neumann U87, which, holy cow, I can't believe we put a U87 on a guitar cab, but it is what it is. So let's listen to each of these separately, and just for, this is C, that's for Chase, that's me. So you'll get to hear just how terrible my playing actually is when I don't have anything masking it. So here we go. Just my guitar. Right. So just my guitar. Sounds like garbage, just like I thought it would. All right, let's listen to each of these separately. So right now, I believe this is the, maybe the Marshall 609. Sennheiser 609, by the way. Can't hear it. Let's see if we can pump that volume up a little bit. Oh yeah, that's a tiny waveform. We'll go ahead and try to match the volume on the others. Close enough. Actually, we do need to loop that. Okay. All right, let's listen to the other ones. All right, this one's got a little bit more growl on it than the other one. I kind of like it. So Yeah, the 1A seems to be a little more lower end, so we'll keep that in mind. Let's take a listen to the other. I think this was the Carbon. Alright, so I think it's down between these two. Let's see which one I like better. I'm kind of leaning towards this guy. Simply because I think there's more definition in what's being played. So let's mess around with that. We will mute this guy. So that we'll call this our second. We'll call this our first. So like quality of product. First quality, second quality. Alright. Go up here. We're going to put it through our same treatment. You'll start to see a trend. I put everything through some sort of analog emulation. I think just overall it adds a lot to the sound. Again through the Hollywood. And we can push it a little bit. Just kissing that LED. Take out some low end. This is all the bass guitar. That's the bass guitar's home. We don't want to mess with the bass guitar's home because the bassist is usually a very violent sociopath of some sort. Totally not true, but I just imagine this psychopathic bass player coming at you all drooling. All right, where was I? Oh yeah, let's put on this. So, let's try this out. See how this sounds. All right, we're getting there. Yeah. All right, so I think I'm at a happy place on the guitar for now. I got to find out now what would complement Matt's guitar. So let's put this through the tape machine. There we go. Alright, so it looks like Matt is just working with the one guitar cab with two mics on it. I would imagine these are an SM57 as well as a Neumann U87. I think there were at least a couple of U87s in the mic locker there. So let's even out Matt's waveform here too. There we go. All right, go back. Yeah, they look about even. All right, let's see what we got. All right, to my ears, they sound exactly the same. So we're just going to pick one. Let's go with let's see here. Okay, so let's just pick this guy for the second, and we'll go with first for this. Simply because we're going to keep it simple. This is a Mac Guitar 1A, Mac Guitar 1B. So easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay. Let's also go ahead and hide this one. If I can, I like to try to keep a clean mix board here. So we'll make this one inactive. All right. So let's hear what the guitars sound like right now with just these two. So there and there. All right, so the first thing I'm going to point out right now is that Matt's guitar cab sounds very sterile, I guess is the best word to use. So let's listen to it one more time. So I can tell you right now, I know that he was using a modeling cab for this. I think it was a line 6, if I remember correctly. Line 6s are nice for bedroom playing. However, bringing one into the studio creates a little bit of an issue. So what makes a line 6 or any modeling cab for that matter sound the way it sounds is that there's air, a lot of air between the speaker and your ear usually. However, if you put a microphone up to it, the sound changes because two things. If you're using a dynamic mic, you've got a proximity effect and occurring at that point, which boosts those lower levels, so it sounds real bassy. The other one is that you're going to have so a tube amp requires saturation from the tubes happening, as well as some speaker distortion. Right now, all you're really getting is that emulation of the tube clipping and some actual speaker distortion. And it kind of, basically it boils down to is a solid state sounding effect, even though you're modeling a tube amp. Might sound great live. However, like I said, it's a different story when you get it into the studio. So let's see what we can do about turning our current tone into something that complements my guitar, which is going through a Marshall JCM 900 tube amp. Oh, geez. Sorry, we just had nacho night. All right, so let's keep going. All right, so I'm instilling some harmonics into the overall sound there. So you can hear it as I pull the drive up. Listen to this. So that's adding some of those natural harmonics that we're missing because we're emulating this guitar cab that he's using, or whatever guitar cab that his amp is simulating. All right. Anyway, moving on, we're going to run it through the preamp. So one small note here, a distorted guitar, if you look at it, like here, let's go back over to the other page. If you're looking at a distorted guitar, it's going to be, pretty much a square wave all down through here. There's not a lot of dynamics. There's not a lot of transient information here. If you're strumming a clean guitar, it's going to look more like this. Now, that being said, these are all harmonics in here. That's exactly what tube overdrive is. It's just the clipping of a tube creating harmonics. When you cap off a sine wave, that creates those harmonics. So, I've got a lot of people texting me about Christmas cards. I need to get to that. So, to try to bring back some of those transients and trying to enrich those harmonics that are recorded, we use aural exciters such as this emulated preamp. These are all exciters to some degree or another. They add harmonics to the existing information that's there. So let's keep going. So we've got our preamp here. This is acting like a preamp, which is why I have it coming in before the channel. The channel is like your channel strip. This is like your, this is what gives a lot of information to the line signal that's coming in. You're coming in directly from the microphone into this, which is actually what's giving your microphone level enough of a volume boost. I'm really kind of reducing the information here, but it's boosting the overall volume to a usable level within the console. That's how this is supposed to work, even though I've got a preamp over there, my Focusrite preamp. So that's all this does on an actual console. From the preamp, it goes into the channel where you can kind of drive it a little bit more. In this particular case, I've got it going through an API channel strip here. That's all this does. And it's supposed to impart the flavor of that particular console, which each of these do have. You know, a lot of us gear snobs or whatever. What was that? Gear slots. That's what it was. They'll talk about how an API has this sound that's different from a Trident, that's different from an SSLG, or even an SSLE, whatever. So if it sounds good, I use it. So here we go. We'll move on. Let's stress it out a little bit. We're gonna, we're gonna want a thick. Like with 3 C's thick. Here we go. All right, let's take a look at our EQ and see what that's looking like, because it's still sounding really, really narrow. Look at those sine waves. Look at that. Oh, that's nuts. You can almost tell what note he's playing just from the frequency. Oh, that's crazy. I've never seen that kind of a sine wave on a distorted guitar. Guitar. What peak was that? 250. Maybe a G? I think it's G, because A is 440. Half of that. Yeah, I guess that would make a little sense. All right. So there we go. It's sounding a little bit better. However, I want to hear it up against my guitar. See how this sounds. All right, so right now we've got two complementary guitars. One is higher end. You can hear that just from playing those two together. And the other is focused a little more on the rhythm aspect, which is perfectly fine. That's kind of how we played it live. All right, so I'm going to focus on this little part. This is pretty cool. The bass. All right, so one little trick I want to do right now. These are the two main guitars. These are the two guitars that are playing all throughout it. Yeah, it's just Matt and I. He's kind of playing the lead. I'm playing the rhythm here. So I want to show you a neat little trick I learned. Boo. Stop it. Wanted to name it. And all this does is add a little bit of delay between the two guitars. So, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Two mix. It's best to keep as organized as you can. So, one of my favorite delays is another Stephen Slate, or Slate Digital. I think, or maybe it's not. It's part of the Slate Digital package, and I'm trying to remember. Repeater, is that it? No, it's part of the Pro Tools package. It just comes with the base Pro Tools, and it's so utilitarian. I love it. All right, so there's a basic Hall effect principle happening here. So they say anything over, I think it was 10 or 13 milliseconds sound difference, and you can actually start to localize what direction the sound is coming from. If it's underneath that, you could tell there's two different sounds, but you can't pinpoint which ear it's coming out of. So I kind of play off of that. So what I do is that I set a bass at 10, and then I usually do double that, give or take a couple milliseconds. So for this particular example, I'll use 18 milliseconds. Now this is a stereo delay, left delay, right delay. So it's going to be just enough to kind of fool the brain, and I'll show you what I mean. So right now we need our sends going to the delay. Want to pump those full. They're going to be following the main fader. Now listen to this if you've got headphones. It's kind of cool. It would help if I made it part of the solo bus. All right, one more time. On and off. That's got to be my favorite trick. All right, let's color code that. It's part of the chain now. But we're going to turn down our overall level on the bus. This is getting a wee bit loud. All right, let's see what it sounds like with the drums and the bass. I'm going to mute all the rest of the guitars for now. What am I doing? There we go. Keith's bass is really kicking on that one part there. He always knew how to do a really cool slide up into a bit of a feature. Right when there's just enough air to get a nice little jab in like that. Nothing else was going on. It was just the bass guitar, and it sounded amazing when he did that. All right. So now I'm going to work with the guitar bus a little bit. When he follows that that lead guitar scale down, man, I got to toot our own horn. I mean, we were getting to a point there where we sounded pretty dang good in retrospect. at the time, I knew I was always driving for practice, practice, practice. But I mean, you can tell a lot of that paid off, and these were really incredible musicians. I mean, I met Keith in the saxophone studio. We were both majoring in saxophone performance, and he has this huge jazz experience and just a lot more. He was a lot better player than I was. I'll put it like that. Matt, he was in the same boat. That dude, not only could he play guitar, he had a pretty wild influence too. I believe his father was a musician as well. So, and he could sing too. I mean, holy crap! And Richie, I mean, I cannot say enough about Richie's playing. He's always been a major influence in how I approach music. He's introduced me to a lot of music. And then Andy, he was the same way, man. We were kind of Andy and I were in different bands in high school, and I'm kind of regretting that. I should have gone on the boat with him, because it turns out that we can write some really good music together. So I should have gotten that boat a long time ago. But yeah, he's an incredible player too. If you listen to his isolated tracks, especially with Cytosine, he played almost all of those instruments, and it sounds incredible. It turned out to be one of the best, just epic songs. But I digress. Let's go ahead and get through this. We're sitting at about a half an hour now. So let's see what else we got. Let's take a look at some of my other guitar takes. So up here, let's zoom out a little bit. So it looks like, what's going on here? I think these are just double tracks of the end. Yeah, let's take a look. Pull these up. Oh yeah, these are another 3 tracks for no better reason than just to exist. So what's a C? We're going to go with C as well. I'm just going to believe. I'm going to press the I believe button, and we will go with that take. There we go. Wow. Look. It's all of our faders are on one screen without having to scroll. So what do we got here? Oh, this is my lead guitar. Ooh. Bra, 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 bra. All right, that's the end. All right, so let's clean this up. I can already tell I'm going to need a drum gate. And actually, you know what? It's the same guitar cab. It's the same microphone. Why mess up a good thing? Aside from just to put a gate on it. Boop. All right, let's see what we got. I don't want to start there. I want to start a little earlier. Alright, it would help if I put some sort of... There we go. Good lord, people, leave me alone. I can still hear everything. What's going on here? I don't know what that is. No, that was my Eric Clapton. Diddly diddly. Alright, let's see what that sounds like with the rest of them. eternity. Now I don't know if I really wanna go. Now I work as your clerk, selling your shot. All right, so we're getting somewhere. It's coming together. And actually, that lead guitar tone does not sound bad with the rest of the band. So let me go ahead and label that Solo. Bring me Han Solo. Ojo Milo Han Solo. Ho, 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 ho. Sorry, I blacked out. What happened? All right, where were we? I think Matt's other good take is feedback. There it is. So again, same guitar. This will provide a kickoff point. If I need to change anything, I can. Let's go ahead and put that delay on there. So it sounds good on its own. It's an atmospheric effect. It's just there to be in the background. So we're going to pull it back a little bit. However, we're going to run it through that same reverb that I'm going to put the solo through. So we'll keep a little bit of consistency. These are all creative decisions along the mixing route. Because I am the writer of the song, because I was kind of the producer along with Mike Cannon, and I'm also the mixer, I don't really need to consult many other people about what I do. However, if this was somebody else's material, I would definitely run it by them first and be like, hey man, so I'm thinking about putting the feedback guitar in a friggin' like echo chamber, a la Kings of Leon. You know, that kind of huge, which I actually got to go in that chamber. It's just a really, really, really tall room, like a 5x8 room that goes up 50 feet or something. It's nuts. So, all right, so we got that. Let me pull over the tape. And I'll add in delay in just a minute. And before I do that, I want to introduce you to a neat little friend of mine called Sennheiser Ambio. This is a free plugin, actually. One of the few free plugins that I use on a regular basis. This is pretty cool. So not only does it pan left and right, but it also manipulates the EQ of the signal to mimic the ear and how it perceives signals that are in front of you. Sources that are in front of you or behind you. And it does the same thing with elevation. It's nuts. So I'm just going to solo the feedback guitar. I want you to hear this. This is pretty incredible. You could follow it. All right, let's add a little bit of clarity. I'm gonna use brick. There we go. It's a big room. Try this one more time. All right, so there's that. It might be a little loud. I apologize. And now we're going to go elevation up and down. All right, to me, that's just cool. All right, so because this is this is just a mono signal. Otherwise, I could widen the thing. That's pretty crazy too. All right, clarity. All right, so I just wanted to show that off. I might actually put that behind us, you know, figuratively speaking. All right. So let's go ahead and add our reverb because we're going to need it on a couple things now. Guitar verb. Let's see here. Guitar better. Alright, putting that into the guitar bus. Don't really need an input. Yes, we do. What am I talking about? Come on, Chase. Get with it. Alright, same thing. It's our verb. Okay. So for reverb, I got a couple options here. I can go with a plate, or I can go with digital. There's Verb Suite Classics, which emulates an old reverb unit. It's pretty cool. You know what? Let's give that a shot. Let's see what happens. I want a pretty well-rounded reverb, though, because we're going to need it for our reverb. Oh, come on. This takes forever. We're going to need a long tail for our feedback track. However, I want to be able to back off of it for the solo. So I got to find a nice small guitar hall. That's a plate. We'll see how it does. Can't hurt, can it? Was it this one? Yeah, it was. All right. Feedback. Okay. All right, so we're going to put that bus. Follow me. We're going to put that on the solo. However, we're going to back off of it a little bit. Let's see what this sounds like. You know what? We're going to pull this down and we're going to make this a... Why did I do that? We're going to pull that back, the feedback back, and we're going to make a pre-fader so that we're getting more echo than we are the direct signal. I forgot about that part. I'm gonna pull that down now. Actually, that was painful. Where was that? Which one of you guys did it? Oh yeah, that's it. All right, let's bring you down a notch. You're painful. Nobody likes that. Still not great. What possessed me to do this? I may end up putting something else there, like a synth or something else. Anything else. Decent, but let's make that tail a little bit. Don't think that's quite what I'm looking for. Cathedral. I like the sound of that. There we go. If I can't tell, or if minute little changes in the string cannot be heard, then that's about the point where I call it good enough when it comes to atmospheric items like that. I want to be able to not really tell that it's a guitar doing this. All right, we're going to have to dial way back on the solo part now. Let's see what we got. can live with that. Oh. Starting over? Anyway. Alright, so I think we've got all of our guitars here. Let me go ahead and hide this one. So we've got our verb, our instruments. Let's color code that. And I'm 45 minutes in. That kind of leaves the vocals. Now, I haven't done anything like timelining or anything. I doubt if I will on this song. Simply because we seem... I mean, I'm not too concerned about it right now for a few reasons. Not the least of which is that I just want to get this done. I could spend forever on this, and I might actually not auto-tune, just pitch correct simple things like the bass, maybe the guitars, but they sounded okay. But I'll probably definitely vocal tune because I'm a little pitch. So that's where we're at. Let's take a listen to some of the vocals real quick before we call it a night. So, you know, I'll work on that next time. I'll do vocals. Looks like I got a few takes here, and oh yeah, they're gang vocals in here. Okay. So let's take a listen to just the vocals. Make fun of me. Which, of course, I would if I unmuted the Vox.
This is my last song. This is my last song for you. Give it all back to you. Every single word of prose. Oh.
God, I'm a nerd.
It was your design. Every word you said.
Did I really do all the gang vocals?
Brace yourself.
No, that's Keith in there too.
It's my time to shine. Give your heart to have your heart. Was your mind all this time? Now, want it back just all for myself.
Yeah, sing it.
I want it back, all back, you.
God, the isolated vocals are so embarrassing. Alright.
See it there every night. In my dreams I wait for you. Give it all back to you. Every single word of prose. Where was your design? Every word you said. Where was your mind? Face yourself. Now you're not mine. It's my time to shine. Give your heart to him.
This was a very angry song. I don't know if you picked up on that.
Now I don't know if I really want to stay. Now I don't know if I really want to go. Now I work as your cook, selling your shortcuts. Now I don't know. I don't know. Now I don't know. I really wanna stay. I don't know if I really wanna go. Now I work as your cook, selling your shot.
So, yeah, I lied. I did a little bit of working on the first vocal there, but so yeah. The last song, a little bit of background on this real quick. So I was young. I mean, girls pretty much made up my universe at the time, and well before that. Like a lot of songs that I'd written down in my little songbook, they were about one girl or another. This song is about just finishing that. I was tired of writing about this one muse. So I said, you know what? This is going to be the last song I write about it because I'm over it. The source material is done. I need to find more source material. So yeah, this is stemming from that. It's basically saying I'm done writing about it. There's better things, you know, that are in my life that I should be writing about. So that's kind of where this is coming from. And then the very last part of this is now I work as a clerk selling your short skirts. That is actually a lyric from an old bandmate of mine that wrote the song that this is kind of based on, actually. It was a good riff, I thought, and I didn't want it to go to waste. So, Paul House, wherever you are, I credit you with the basic idea of the song, and my tribute to you is those two lines. Those were the two lines that I could remember that you were singing along with that riff. So I threw them in there. And it works in the overall section of it. You can pretend it's like some euphemism. You can pretend it's like a metaphor. It's just a couple sentences that make no sense. So that's basically the meaning behind this song. There wasn't much more to it other than it's an angry song. I'm sick and friggin' tired of, you know, writing about this idea in my head. So turns out it made for a pretty good live song because it got pretty loud and pretty raucous. Ruckus. It was causing a ruckus. So I'm going to leave it there for today. Next time we're going to work on the vocals, and then we're going to take some creative liberties with trying to flesh out what we're hearing. Namely trimming down the waveforms, adding some stuff, and generally making it sound like a song that you might hear on a CD. So that's it for now. Thanks everybody for tuning in, checking it out, and we'll see you next time I do this. So take care of yourself, and we'll see you later. Bye.